Hey guys, Tekking here, and let's start off with a new intro segment. Let's do a new game I came up with, and we'll see if it sticks, see if you guys like it. I call it the Devil Fruit Mix-Up Game. Here's how it works. We're going to spin two wheels. The first wheel is going to be a list of random Devil Fruit users in the One Piece story. The second wheel is going to be a list of random Devil Fruits. And the idea is we're going to mix and match characters with different Devil Fruit abilities. And then in the comments below, I want you to tell me how that character would utilize their new power. It doesn't have to be the same as with the person that normally used the power. They would probably come up with new clever ways to adapt and use the abilities in their own ways. What their techniques would be called, how they could use them in fights that we've already seen in the story, things of that nature. And then in the next review, I'm going to highlight some of the ones that I thought were the most funny or clever or just plain badass. So yeah, let's just give it a shot. Let's see if it works. Okay, so the first wheel is going to be random Devil Fruit users in the One Piece story. Let's spin that shit. Okay, and looks like we got Rob Lucci, and his random Devil Fruit power is going to be the Horo no Mi. That is the hollow fruit that is used by Perona. So, Rob Lucci is going to have Perona's Horo no Mi. Let me know below on how he could use that to fight, how it would be different than the way Perona uses it, how the fights that Rob Lucci was in, like his fight against Luffy or his fights against like Sabo in Film Gold, how it would be different with this Devil Fruit ability. And some of the best ones I see, I'll highlight on the next review. Let's see if you also like this new game. Let me know below so I can, squash it before it gets too cringy. Alright, let's go to the intro! Hey everybody, Tekking101 here, here to review One Piece Chapter 855, entitled, Growl. Honestly, when I first read it, I thought it was going to be the return of Peckhams, the ultimate lion/turtle mink. And he's going to rise from the ocean on top of Wadasume, and he's going to reign supreme and rule over Totland after Big Mom's defeat. But no, I just haven't gotten my onomatopoeias straight. See, Peckhams doesn't just growl, he gowls, which is completely different. Also, no one tell Law Tekking that Corazon is in this week's cover page. He still hasn't quite gotten over that, and he's a little bit sensitive about... He already found out. He already found out. Great. I've got to deal with that later. Shit. Right, so the chapter starts off with Bobin from last chapter. You know, thrifty Bobin, the guy with the boing, his bobblehead, that's what his thing is. We get his title. He is the Big Mom pirate soldier. He's a bishop in the army, Bobin the Fixer, and his bounty is 155 million, a little bit lower than I originally thought. We saw Bobin at the end of the Fishman Island arc. He was walking in to report to Big Mom that he had burned down an island because they didn't have enough tribute for her, and he looked pretty badass at the time. I mean, he looks goofy, of course, but in One Piece, goofy doesn't immediately translate to, weak. So there was a lot of people thinking that Bobin was going to be really badass, and I know bounties don't just tell your strength, but it's a lot lower than I originally figured. It's a lot lower than just Luffy's third bounty before the time skip, 155 million. So I figured it would be at least 400 or 500. But no, that's Bobin the Fixer, and he displays a very unique ability. After Sanji, kicked him in the face, he left a really large commotion. I think he broke him through a wall or something like that. And a bunch of the soldiers come running, and Bobin just kind of gets up, and all the soldiers are like, oh my god, what happened? And then Bobin just does this weird thing with his head, where he, seems to bob his head, and then it, sends out, a hypnotic wave, and everybody that came to his aid immediately passes out and goes to sleep. And he's just like, there's nothing to worry about. Boing, stand down. I will fix this. Boing. So then he heads off. So I'm imagining he did that for maybe one of two reasons. Number one, he doesn't want Big Mom to know that Sanji, just kicked him in the fucking head and then ran off, because then Bobin looks like the guy that kind of dropped the ball there, which, let's be honest here, he kind of did. Or that he felt like, I don't want anyone to deal with this. he's the one that kicked me in the face. I'm gonna beat his ass down. It's not gonna be any of you guys. He's Bobin the fixer, so maybe he feels like I'm the one that has to fix this. I have to get to this. The ability he displayed seems to hypnotize people to put them to sleep with the hypnotic rhythm of his head. Whether that just be an ability he has through that, it's probably a devil fruit power. Although I should note that we actually have already had a devil fruit ability non-canon that displayed this ability. Noko had this devil fruit power. It was called the Nemu Nemu no Mi. No, not that Nemu. Although, how you doing, Nemu? It's been a while. Whatever. Talk to you later. No, but this is the ability that allowed people to fall asleep, and this was in I think a PlayStation game, Ocean's Dream or something like that. There was also a brief filler arc in the anime where the Straw Hat crew loses their memories, and that ties back to Noko, who had that ability. So I just wanted to bring it up. Of course, it's filler, so Oda could still utilize this Devil Fruit ability, but it seems to have the power to knock people asleep. So maybe it's like the Hypno no Mi, or the fucking NyQuil no Mi. I don't know. Anyway, we cut to Sanji, who's running away from the castle, trying to get to the location where Luffy is, and Bobin just kind of states as he's heading off to try to find him, even hell's demons make appearances at Mama's tea parties. Boyon. Ah, come on. Luffy's beaten through fucking demons and impaled down and shit. That's basically what Magellan was, right? Nah, it's fine. He'll be okay. Demons. Alright, so then we cut over to the mirror world where we have the gang. Basically, everybody's together now. We have Chopper and Nami and Jinbei and Carrot and Pedro. They have located Big Mom's sleeping chambers, and they're trying to rescue Brook. Slight problem here is that Big Mom is kind of, yeah, and everyone's just kind of looking through the mirror at Big Mom, snoring her head off, and like, why is she holding Brook like that? I think the more disturbing question is what she was doing with Brook before she went to bed, because I don't know about your guys' nightly routines, but I take a shower usually before I go to bed, which would imply that Big Mom was probably naked with the... Oh, shit. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so... At least I'm the one that figured this out. Never say those three words together. Big Mom naked, or else that would happen. God damn it, this is an expensive camera. Alright, well, anyway, on top of Big Mom also being asleep, we also have Prometheus and Zeus and Napoleon also snoozing with her in her bed. They're like her clones, essentially, so it would make sense why they don't leave her immediate vicinity. In fact, usually when we see Big Mom around, those homies are always around her. She's always usually wearing her bicorn hat, Napoleon, but we also see Prometheus and Zeus always hovering around her, so maybe that's like one of the faults with maybe doing that. Maybe you can't, the homies can't go that far from you because they're from her soul, or maybe something like that. But anyway, yeah, they're trying to figure out what to do. Meanwhile, Bruelle is just, screaming her head off, trying to get Big Mom's attention, so they quickly, shove a sock in her fucking mouth. And she wakes up very briefly, and she looks at the mirror, and everyone just kind of freezes and just kind of, like, pisses themselves in fear, like, oh shit, did she see us? Oh no, she just saw a fly. Alright, well, everything's good. Fuck! Alright, well, yeah, this is gonna be more complicated than it originally seemed. Alright, so the plan here is to rescue Brook, but that's easier said than done, considering when even there's just a small little fly buzzing around in Big Mom's quarters while she's sleeping. All three homies, and Big Mom as well, just go apeshit. They don't seem to be really aware of them. They just seem to be like in that half-groggy state where, that she like woke up and she's like, ah, fucking fly, and just crushes it and then just goes right back to sleep. But all the homies immediately get active. Zeus and Prometheus, they just shock and fucking flare up the freaking fly, the threat or whatever, and then we see Napoleon activate, and we finally get to see why Napoleon is so terrifying. He turns into a sword. That's his ability. A hilt pops out of the bottom half of the hat, and a blade shoots out of the top, so it's a pretty cool shikai, if nothing else, but they all proceed to just decimate this fly. So, yeah, don't worry, I'm pretty sure the fly survived, guys. I don't care. If a mosquito can get away from Saitama, I'm pretty sure the fly will be fine. But everyone's freaking out here, because they don't have any idea how they're if she does that to a fly, then how the hell are they gonna manage to sneak into Big Mom's room and get up on her bed, remove Brook, get him back in the mirror portal without any of those homies becoming aware of their presence? So yeah, it's pretty terrifying. We see Sanji very briefly running through Sweet City. We see a dog chasing after him, trying to get the food, but he just kind of shoos it away, like, that's not for you. Alright, so then we cut back to the mirror world. Just a very quick interlude with Sanji there. I don't know why that had to be thrown in, but whatever. We see them throwing together a copy of Brook. We basically a pretty accurate one, too. He's a little bit more, you know, short in this version, but they managed to create a copy with him. So their idea is to sneak in, and they're each going to try a different tactic each time to try to sneak in this fake Brook and take Brook out and then take him out from the mirror. You know what's sad, though? Even if she did kill Brook, there's no way that they would know. I mean, she could be cuddling with his corpse right now for all they know. It's not even like they'd be able to see his eyes shut or anything like that, so that's kind of like, you know, grisly or whatever. But anyway, here we go. It's Operation Don't Wake the Fucking Bear. Go! Alright, so here's what happens. Jinbei places Bruelle right in the middle of the barrier between the mirror world and the real world. So mirror world, mirror where Bruelle is half and half, and then the real world. And so all they have to do is just touch her. They can use her as basically like a revolving door, where as long as you're just touching Bruelle, you can just walk through the passage, grab Brook, and then just walk back. Okay, so Chopper goes up first, walks out of the mirror world, approaches the bed, sneaks, see, careful Chopper, careful, and then he sneezes and he fucks everything up! Alright, Carrot goes up next, and she has her, her mink ability. She's a rabbit. She has that thing, kind of like similar to Geppo, where she can, like, jump in midair. So she uses that ability. She jumps up on the bed. She tries to grab Brook. And Big Mom turns around, and she bounces off the snoring bubble, and then Zeus becomes active and shoots lightning, and she fucks it up! Alright, so Pedro's up next. He's got the skills to pay the bills. He's a jaguar. They're pretty stealthy. He's been in Tauntland before. I think he's got this. Jumps up on the bed. Big Mom rolls around. Everything becomes active. Prometheus shoots fucking fire. Jinbei jumps out, grabs everybody. Nami's there. Okay, they win. They win. Third time's the charm, right? Holy shit. And the miracle is that they did not wake up throughout all of that. Big Mom and Prometheus and Zeus, they're all still snoozing there. So they left the dummy Brook in the room, and they managed to get back in the mirror world unhindered. Okay, operation successful. Keanu Reeves would be happy. Or wait, was it Brad Pitt? Who is in Mission Impossible? I've never seen those movies, so I would have no idea. Alright, so we cut away to Sanji again, now on the outskirts of the town. There's just a plethora of Big Mom soldiers just wrecked everywhere. Also, I should mention here, the chess soldiers, right? So the chess soldiers, the ones that Brook fought against, I guess they were supposed to be just the pawns or like the rooks, like the low-level ones, right? And that's how he was able to defeat them relatively easy. But then we have Bobin, who's a bishop rank. So it's not just like these chess soldiers that are just like their own unique thing. It's like the people in Big Mom's army are all organized like by level, I guess, like the foot soldiers are anyway, not like the sweet commanders or anybody, but they're ranked by level based on like members of like the chess pieces and shit like that. It kind of reminds me of the anime Mare. You guys remember that? Oh my god, that was such a good series, and it aired once in the English dub, and there's no DVD releases of it or anything. It's just kind of been lost to the internet, but you should go look it up and read the manga. It's a pretty good read. Anyway, yeah, Sanji finds a bunch of the soldiers defeated, so Luffy's obviously around here somewhere. He's just still trying to find him. Okay, so we cut back to the mirror world again. This time, Brook is woken up, and he's rescued, and everybody's just like, oh, you're okay. I mean, come on here. He went toe-to-toe with a Yonko and managed to get away with his life intact. Yo-ho-ho-ho! So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty impressive there. However, Brook actually has some good news for them all. He states that, oh, no, yeah, I actually did already get the rubbings of the poneglyph. And just like I said, I called it. That's the first time I did a One Piece called it. I used to do a dance, but I feel like I have to do something new. So, I'm just going to sit here and then smirk very confidently. Yeah. So Brook opens up his skull where he keeps his tone dial, and he removes a bunch of pieces of paper, which would be the the rubbings of the poneglyph. Now, this is why I was a little bit dubious as to him doing this, because obviously, like, look at how big these sizes of paper are. Like, there's like these 3 huge sheets of papers that were rubbings of the poneglyph that Brook managed to get by like the skin of his teeth. There's no way that you'd be able to fit these 3 giant sheets of paper in a space that small, but once again, it's manga land, where physics are just But anyway, yeah, Brook fucking came through, and he's like, oh yeah, I did it, it's fine. And everyone's freaking out, like, bulging out of their heads, like, oh my god, I can't believe you did this. Like, this was easy. We thought this was going to be more difficult, but you managed to already have it, so good to go. So Nami hugs Brook and, thanks him for all the shit that he's done, and she even brings up, like, oh my god, you basically gave us a map that'll help us get to the Hall of Treasures. This is the part of the endpoint where we're going to get to Raft Hill and find, like, all the treasures, all the riches in the world, and it's Nami we're talking about here. So she's like, thank you, Brook. And at this point, Brook kind of gets an idea, and he's just like, oh, well, since you are so happy that I managed to get these poneglyphs for you, may I see your panties, Nami-san? To which, Nami, actually, I was expecting her to do it this time. Like, I seriously was. Brook just gave her, like, Raft Hill, bitch! Raft Hill! Alright? It's really hard to get there. There's gonna be more treasure than you could possibly imagine. And this skeleton guy just risked his life to fight a Yonko and managed to come through and get part of the map to the damn place. I think you should just, like, fuck, you can have my goddamn panties. Here you go. Here's some of my bras, too. Just have them. I don't care. I'm gonna be fucking a billionaire here. But no, of course she doesn't. She just slaps Brook right in the face. That's funny. Seriously though, Brook, if you ever did that for me, bro, I would give you my panties. Wait. Alright, so Chopper brings up that, hey, that's one objective down. We came here to, like, a twofold operation. We came here to get the poneglyphs, and then we just came here to rescue Sanji. We already took out one of them. So, yeah, we just have to get his hands on Sanji, and everything's going to be good. In which that leads into the ending of the chapter, where we have Sanji roaming around, hearing a large growling sound, and he approaches the side of this cliff where we see Luffy passed out, somewhat emaciated. His face is just kind of worn and dried out like a mummy, and it's raining as well. He's just sitting there, like, ready. He's passed out, essentially, and his stomach is just constantly growling. So Sanji just kind of smirks and smiles, and he's just like, okay, he's here. He waited. That's awesome. So I wanted this chapter to be the reconciliation thing, but I think next week is going to have that. We haven't seen Luffy in that beat-up shape in a while. He's exerted a lot of energy. The only time I think we saw him like that is in Impel Down, when he was, during Ivankov's treatment, and he was in that room, like, screaming his head off for, like, 12 hours or whatever, and he came out, and he was all, like, emaciated, and then he had to eat a bunch of food to get stronger. So I don't know how. I mean, Sanji only has like a few things in that picnic basket, like some meat and a bento. So probably not going to fill up Luffy, but it'll probably just be enough to get him by. And then Sanji's like, you know what? I'll cook you a huge feast after we're done here. Yeah. And also, Sanji has access to all those new Kamakempo recipes that are, like, really, geared toward getting your energy back and replenishing yourself. So maybe he could whip up something for him like that could maybe get his energy back or something like that. But yeah, everything seems to be going really good, and that really worries me. That really worries me, because the way this is going, Sanji's reunited with Luffy. Everything seems to be good on that front. They got Brook back, and they got the road poneglyph writings. And it's not, and they might be thinking, like, we can get out of here before the tea party starts, and I don't think they are. No, some shit's gonna happen. In fact, I'm even considering that those road poneglyph scribblings, they might get destroyed at some point. It might be one of those really upsetting things where we get a chapter where, like, everything's ready to go, they're about to escape, and then all of a sudden, the fucking Gurmas show up and beat the shit out of Sanji, and then they take, like, oh, you stole the poneglyphs, huh? And then Prometheus just lights them on fire and destroys them, and everyone's like, no! So, yeah, I think next chapter's still going to be pretty positive. We're going to see Luffy and Sanji, reconcile and everything. But I think, from when they're going to try to get away, when they start trying to escape, some shit's going to hit the fan. Something's going to go down, and it's probably going to involve maybe the Gurmas, I would say, because we haven't seen them in a few chapters here. They've been kind of absent. We haven't seen much of them, Sanji's brothers and everything. Yeah, so I would get ready for that. I would get ready for stuff to go downhill. But other than that, pretty solid chapter here. It was pretty funny with the scenes with Big Mom trying to, she's sleeping, bashing everything up in her sleep, and they got Brook back. I still think Nami, come on, Nami, you could at least, like, give him a shot. I mean, I'm just saying, come on, like, Hall of Riches, okay? He deserves something for that, all right? But yeah, so thanks for watching, everybody, and let me know what you think about that, the new game, the Devil Fruit Mix-Up game, or maybe I should call that something else. I kind of came up with it on the fly, so maybe we can change the name of it. But I like the idea. I like to do something different for the intro segment. So thanks for watching, everybody. This will be Tekking101 signing out. Oh, God damn it, I gotta deal with this guy. Law was never this much of a bitch in the series. God damn it.